there's one more chakra you might not have heard of. It's the Pod Chakra, located in the anus. It is opened by humor and charity, but it's blocked if you don't go to patreon.com/WassessCastProductions. For less than the cost of the ultimate power of the Avatar state, you can support our show and benefit all the chakras. Again, that's patreon.com/WassessCastProductions. Chakras, chakras, chakras. Reunited, and it feels so good. Reunited, because they understood. There was one perfect fit, and Appa, this is it. Welcome to the After Credits Cast, the only film podcast to tell you whether your favorite Avatar episodes are great or perfect. I am your host, AJ Waseska, and I'm joined by my co-host, Ryan Menners.
At long last, we got my boy back.
We haven't gotten to that point yet, but we're almost there. We're almost there. And of course, we are joined once again by Chaz Muckamer.
It's okay to genocide that group of people, just in my opinion. Dude, I stand genocide.
They don't exist, man. They don't exist.
I stand genocide for the sandbenders. 100% value, dude. On God, bet money.
You were right there with Anakin Skywalker.
Oh, dude, hands down. I mean, what do you mean? Anakin did nothing wrong. Dude, they killed his mom. What do you mean?
Yeah, but then how do you explain the Jedi, though? How do you explain the Jedi?
The younglings, man. The younglings had it coming. Gonna be honest with it.
Wow.
What do you mean? Wow.
Love it. I love it. Right off the bat.
Here in a second. Wow, class.
Missed sad episodes, Chaz, so we're glad to have you back for the uplifting fun episodes.
Yeah.
We're there. We're ready to roll. If you want to join us in this role, you can join us on patreon.com/WassessCastProductions, as well as YouTube, Pippa, Apple Podcast, Google Podcasts, or whatever we're on now, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, TuneIn, and Podcast Addict. Google us, and you will find us. You can also go to our various social platforms of choice. That's Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter, and Ryan, if they want to email us their favorite chakras, where can they email them at?
They can email us at a prison internment camp. Excuse me. At Guantanamo Bay. Excuse me. Sorry. No, that's evacstation at gmail.com.
You know, I thought someone had said back in the before times that we were going to close down Guantanamo. Just going to leave it there.
Funny. Guantanamo doesn't exist unless you're.
Oh, like Area 51. Okay.
I mean, there are a lot less people locked up in Lake Laogai now, so it's fine. Right?
Well, speaking of which, we kicked this reunion off with Side A, which is Lake Laogai, airing November 3rd of 2006, directed by Lauren McMullen, and this is her final directing credit, and was written by Tim Hedrick. DR Movie is tapped for animation this week. We have a few new voices, including Kurt Fuller as Quan and Mark Donato as Longshot. Longshot's been in the show multiple times, but this is the first time he's actually said anything. So, yeah. This episode won a Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Individual Achievement in Animation. And we turn it over to Ryan for some fun facts.
I have two for you. Much like the two questions that Uncle Iroh asked Zuko to ask himself. Who are you? What do you want? They are prominent philosophical questions from the sci-fi series Babylon 5, designed to represent order and chaos, respectively. So that's a very deep cut reference that I like.
Oh, you want some deep cut references? Just wait till you get to season 3, man. They are everywhere. These scripts have been full of them.
Well, for our final fun fact, while trying to regain his memory, Jet has a flashback to his childhood, in which it is revealed that the Rough Rhinos were responsible for the destruction of his hometown and the murder of his parents. God damn, that's a link.
Yeah. So you're saying Jet should be Batman, and the Rough Rhinos should be his Arkham Asylum inmates? Just saying.
Well, I mean, it's like Jet would be Bruce Wayne, and each of the Rough Rhinos are a different personality of Joe Chill. Is that how we would run that?
Yes, that's perfect. You have the part of Joe Chill likes to blow shit up. You have the other part of Joe Chill that wants to shoot everything with an arrow. It's great. I've got a synopsis for you boys whenever you're ready.
Alright, can't wait to hear it.
The gang puts up flyers for free beer in exchange for information about APA. Judy tells them that this shit is super illegal, but they don't care and vow to break all the rules, and the walls, and their house. Their flyers get the attention of Jet, who the gang immediately refuses to trust. We also reveal Toph is a human lie detector. Clues lead them to a wild goose chase, but with the help of Jet's old crew, they determine that he has actually been brainwashed and restore his memories. They arrive at Lake Laogai, where all the government conspiracies are born. Lex activates Jet to turn on the gang, resulting in Jet's vague death. Meanwhile, Zuko is having a moment with Appa, having found the hidden bison under the lake. He frees the bison after a talk with Iroh. With Appa freed, he saves the rest of the gang, and everyone is reunited at last. And as I said before, it feels so good.
I still can't believe Jet. I still can't believe how they did him. That shocked the hell out of me.
What do you mean? I mean, to be fair, that was like the best part of his whole character.
Wait, the part where he died or the part where he went all crazy?
No, that's the only thing he was good for was dying. What do you mean?
Wow.
So as we
Am I wrong?
Well, so as we discussed, was it last week when we discussed Jet a little bit in detail?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so last week we discussed him. He was an interesting parallel to Zuko's character, where Zuko was wanting to move on and try to reform from his past. Jet refused to let it go. And the two of them being parallels of that kind of archetype was actually very telling and allowed Zuko's character to really kind of show his growth a lot more, which I really respected for Jet.
Jet is whack.
I mean, not gonna lie, he is.
But he is also daddy, so. Dude, Jet walk up, slap your girl on the cheeks, and then be like, yo, your girl called me daddy too, what's up?
I mean, that did kind of happen in his first episode, but whatever, it's fine. It's fine.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Jet's out here just beating cheeks, and you know what? I'm good with it.
I think it was mostly surprising that they actually moved to kill Jet.
Yeah, that's fair. They like legit killed him. So
like he died. Like, wait, what?
Well, the thing too is we don't see.
Even though it was Nickelodeon, and they couldn't just outright be like, "And Jet died." They were like, they got as close to saying it as possible. It's just like, "Hey, he's gone. Man. He's out the game."
Just like how certain characters are so close to being in a homosexual relationship, they won't admit it in the actual show because Nickelodeon wants to make sure this is still family friendly.
Yeah.
Wait, who's in a homosexual relationship?
We're not going to spoil it, but watch Legend of Korra, you'll find out.
Oh. Is it like May?
It's a spoiler.
It is a huge spoiler. I'm not going to get into it.
You gotta watch it.
Oh, man. Oh, is it a huge spoiler? Fair enough.
Yeah. I mean, if you've seen the show, obviously, those of you out there, you know who it is. But for Chaz, he's never seen it. We don't want to spoil it for him. It's good. It's really
I have
good.
not. I need to watch it. It's on Netflix. I know I need to watch it, but like, that's so much work, and I'm lazy. Nice kitty in the background.
Yeah, Olive family.
Yes.
Hi, Olive.
Die for that cat.
What was I gonna say? So yeah, this is also, like you said, Ryan. This is one of the rare times we see someone get killed. And it's also weird that they're killing him through bending. We've never really seen something like that before with this show.
Yeah, we have.
Well, no,
God told me to do it.
But I mean, like, just a straight up earthbender thing. We've never seen an earthbender just do it. Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah, he freaking like messes him up too. Like it's not a nice like, oh, here you go. It's like this dude gets jacked up.
It's like a fucking just like earth spire to the chest. It's like,
yeah.
Ooh, fuck.
Yeah, man, they don't mess around.
Do you think?
I think it's really interesting though the choice to kill Jet, especially in light of the choice that Zuko makes. Because, like, if we're looking at these two characters as parallels that we think they're supposed to be, you see how Jet's refusal to give up like the hatred in his past kind of makes it so that even though he wants to save his friends and even though he wants to change at the end, it's too late for him. Like he dies actually trying to escape his past and be heroic, but it's too late for him at this point. So when you contrast that with Zuko, who seems to have turned off the path a little like earlier than that, and then you look at what happens in a couple of episodes, it's almost like are they foreshadowing what lies at the end of Zuko's path with Jet's death here?
That's fair.
Or do you mean like they're foreshadowing a potential future for Zuko?
Yeah, a potential future. I mean, like I'm getting ahead of myself. I'll bring it back up when we get to the season finale. But like it's very interesting when you really look at them as parallels and you look at what happened to Jet and then you look at Zuko's choices after that fact.
Well, and there are a couple episodes, as I was saying when I made the scripts in season 3, that really highlight the aftermath of Zuko's decisions in the rest of this season here. And I'm looking forward to getting those discussions. Those are going to be some deep moments, especially when we get to the Avatar and the Fire Lord. That's a solid episode right there.
Ooh, yeah. Ooh, chef's kiss.
But I guess to move on from Jet, my last question regarding him specifically, unless there's something else you guys want to bring up, do you wish Jet had survived, and why or why not?
I don't know if I wish he had survived. I don't know if the way they killed him was. I feel like they did not capitalize enough on the fact that this man's just died. Like they kind of just leave him and then they never talk about it again. Like they're never like Aang's not like, dude, he died because of me. Like they don't bring it up as much as I feel like they should, if that makes sense.
No, you're right, because a lot of other moments weigh heavily on them, and they feel like much lighter moments compared to someone they know that was kind of close to them died right in front of them.
Dunked on. Like, I mean, it was not even like he didn't just die, man. He got killed. Like, it was not good. And right in front of him too. Like, it's not even like it happened off screen or God told him to. Like, it actually. I'm gonna keep bringing it up. You can't stop me.
I love it.
I just it's wild to me. It is. So as an answer to your question, I think that they should have killed him off because I think it could have been a cooler story moment, but it just wasn't. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I get you. Ryan, what do you think?
I agree with part of that. I think where my main where I'm happy they went about it the way they did is that it really like gives those choices impact, and that like the impact of what happened to Jet in relation to where Zuko's story is going to go. I, like Chaz said, I do agree. I wish they had given it a little more credence. I don't know if Zuko was ever made aware that Jet died, so he might have just never known. But if he had,
actually,
and we could have heard. Sorry?
Actually, there is a moment when he finds out Jet dies. I remember this specifically.
Okay.
It is the Ember Island Players.
I'm gonna have to.
Does he really?
Mm-hmm. They in the play they reenact the moment where Jet dies, and then I think he actually asked the group, "Did Jet die?" And Sokka's like, it was unclear.
Oh wow! Yeah, they played it off like a joke. Oh no!
How are they gonna do my boy like that? How are they gonna do your girl calls me daddy too like that? Yeah, it feels bad.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So like then my point still stands. If Zuko had found out about it in like within the beginning of or the first half of season 3, where like he's really going through some changes, they could have really capitalized on that that parallel. So as it stands right now, like it makes like it's a good impactful moment for the story, and it gets some real heat on fucking Lex Luthor over there. But you're right. I do feel like it might have been a little wasted. It would have been very interesting to see if Jet could have recovered from the hatred of his past, but we'll never know.
I'm gonna love it.
He made the wrong choices, and now it's too late.
I'm a load of an Avatar comic comes out here soon, and Jet just happens to show up, and it's like, oh yeah, no, I survived that totally. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm just chilling, guys. We're just out here vibing. Don't worry about it, man.
I gotta have a wheelchair now, but I'm fine.
I gotta have a wheelchair, Jim. It's skirt.
So he's just running around with an oxygen tank because it's hard for him to breathe.
Oh God. Well, okay. So here's a question that is probably going to be deeper than I initially intended, but we'll see how this goes. Is the gang right to say "fuck off" to the rules, or are the Daily right to use extreme force when they break these rules?
Whew. Okay. I think context is above all things important here. When we talk about breaking the rules here, the gang is putting up flyers so that they can find their lost bison and the lost member of the crew. We talked about this last week in regards to the Avatar's gang like being on a fucking ticking clock because they have to move on and continue on their mission, but they're getting stuck in this big ass city because of all the bureaucracy. So in terms of just putting up flyers so that they can find their bison and dip, like I think they're perfectly justified in that.
But I mean, they're taking it a little far though when they go into the secret underground lakes and stuff.
Secret tunnel. Sorry.
Yes, let's respect their rules when they're breaking into their completely secret black box location where they are abducting citizens and hypnotizing them to make them more complacent to the government. Yeah.
That sounds about right.
Yep.
Were you talking about did you mean the U.S. or wait?
No. I obviously meant Boston State. Obviously, man. Come on, dog.
Obviously, there's no correlation.
No correlation at all.
Never happened.
Totally never happened.
Never happened before.
Not a stand-in for Guantanamo or anything like that. Not at all.
No, not Guantanamo or the internment camps during World War II. No.
Or the cages down by Texas. None of those either. Nope.
Oh yeah, no, miss me with that. Of course not. What? Come on, guys.
It's a cartoon show. There's no politics in here. What are you talking about?
Oh, it's not like this is a kid's show or anything.
I was looking forward to see what this response went. I love it. Great.
So I will play devil's advocate though because
oh boy.
So like why? What gives them the right though? Right? Like they go into this city that everybody is relatively happy, right? There's not. I mean, yeah, there's people who are being. I don't want to say like their rights are being taken away, but their rights are being taken away to a certain extent, right?
They're a little oppressed. It's fine.
Oppressed. Thank you, Aaron. I could not think of that word. I appreciate you. So right, like they're slightly oppressed. They're slightly, they're being some silly gooses going on and being a little dumb, but at the end of the day, it's not their city, right? It's like the U.S. going into the Middle East, right? Yeah, we went there. I mean, if you believe what the original pretenses we were there for, we went there in order to help them become free and to bring democracy. Same thing with Vietnam. That's why we originally quotes went to Vietnam. We really went there to fight communism because, we were scared of Russia or whatever. But, that's what we said. We were going there to help them be a free nation. So what obviously we know that they were just in their cause, but were they truly just in the cause? You know, what gives them the right? Yeah, sure, he's the Avatar, but that's like the president of the United States or the president of China, you know, one of the superpowers of the world, going up and saying, hey, third world country, I know better than you do about how to run your country. Here's how we're going to do it now. And when they say, no, we're not going to do it that way, they say, oh, well, then I'm going to basically mess up everything. I'm going to burn your entire political structure to the ground, which is what we did in the Middle East, what we did in Japan back after, World War II. It's what we've done to dozens of countries all throughout the world. And does it ever really work out?
Japan came back pretty good, but everyone else, it's kind of hit or miss.
Yeah, Japan came back pretty well. India came back pretty good, even after all the stuff that happened with them in Britain and whatnot. India came back pretty okay, but then you look in Africa and then the Middle East, right? Like, the entire continent of Africa is, like, scarred from the amount of wars and conflicts that have been fought because of U.S. and because of resources and all that stuff, right? So what gives us the right to do that, Ryan?
Well, in terms of let's take it step by step. In terms of them breaking the rules to find Appa, who had been kidnapped from them, I think they're 100% justified, because that's their person that was taken from them wrongfully. They need to find Appa. I'm perfectly fine, especially if breaking the rules includes all of putting out flyers. Now, then happening upon their secret torture base, well, that's pretty bad. But that's like, they are still trying to find Appa while also trying to get at the root of what's going wrong with this country, which they're coming to realize something is deeply, deeply wrong. So they find Appa, and I know we're getting into like the beginning of the next episode, but they literally say, okay, we've got Appa, let's just go. And Aang decides to not. Because at the end of the day, he could not stand the fact that the Dai Li had essentially performed a secret coup on the Earth Kingdom and have this whole kingdom in the palm of their hands. So I guess once you have a degree of power, you begin to ask yourself questions like, is it morally right to stand by and watch wrongdoing when you have the power to stop it? Now, your definition of wrongdoing is entirely the thing that people can take up arms with, because the world is rarely so black and white as, no, this guy literally has a secret police organization that has the country under lock and key, and we have to liberate it from them. It's rarely as cut and dry as that.
Wait, are we still talking about current events? Or are we talking about the show?
Dude, right? Facts.
Very much facts. Very much facts. I hate that we're living through historic events right now. I'm tired of that shit. But
right? Can we please be done doing that?
So hopefully, man. Hopefully, we're coming out of it.
Sorry, I couldn't resist.
But I mean, no. For a kids show, this is a very interesting thing to bring up, and it's never really delved into, because at that point it becomes a very murky political premise. At what point, what gives Aang the right to break into the Earth, the center of the Earth Kingdom, and demand to see the king, and actually fight the royal guards to get to the king? What gives him that right aside from, what gives him that right aside from the power that he wields as the Avatar and the fact that he thinks he's right. Like, if you have enough power and you think you're right, that doesn't necessarily give you the right to enforce what you think on other people.
Exactly, that's what I was saying. So what gives Aang the right?
I mean, that at that point, it's very murky. At that point, I'm not going to claim Aang is right. Well, I mean, I think in this particular circumstance, because it is so cut and dry, Aang is right. But in a larger scope, in different scenarios, in real life scenarios, it's rarely so cut and dry as that. So I don't want to take that blanket statement from this kids show and apply it to every IRL situation that this could also fit to. Because there's a lot more nuance in real life. And there's a lot of statements and topics that I don't personally know about, so I would be ignorant to speak on that.
It'd be very interesting to take a deep dive into the discussions of whether or not Aang or any Avatar has the right to do what they're doing. I think Korra dips into that concept a little bit, but not as much as I'd like to see.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And there is a whole mystical aspect, with the fact that like the Avatar is the gateway between the Earth and the spirit realm, and they are the cosmic representative that is tasked with keeping the balance, and that also includes keeping the balance within the physical world. So that's a lot of power granted from a higher power, if we're gonna call it that. I mean, it starts
from
to sound
God.
Like, yeah, it starts to sound like what's that called? Divine
right to rule.
Okay. Yeah. There's a term for it. It's slipping my mind. No.
You're thinking like the nobles from back in Old England, right?
Kind of, yeah. It's like a divine mandate almost. Like they feel like they have a like they are tasked with this strength of will and with this power from God to do things the way, quote unquote, it's supposed to be done. And we have a mystical kind of apparatus in this story that kind of lends credence to that, but in a modern society that doesn't really hold water, because you're enforcing your beliefs on how the world should be on everybody else, and it's just through sheer strength of arms.
This question went in some directions I was not expecting. I appreciate how that went.
What do you think?
What do I think?
Yeah, you didn't. I mean, Ryan and I gave our 80,000-year-long answers, both for and against.
I'll keep mine short and sweet. I do think I agree with Ryan on the sense that in this particular scenario he's probably right. But I think if you applied it to broader scopes, like considering that, for lack of a better term, Appa is like their property, their ride, essentially, as I've said before. Imagine having the same break the rules attitude if someone just stole your jalopy. Like, obviously, you're not going to be breaking down walls and doing dumb shit to get it. You're going to just do it the proper way and go to a cop and all that stuff to say, hey, my car's been stolen and shit. So I think it is a gray area, but I think that in this particular scenario, because we're talking about a living creature, we're talking about someone who is trying to stop a war, yeah, I would say Aang is in the right here. I would say...
And of course... I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, and of course you're dealing with the governmental forces that are actively trying to inhibit you from doing the things that you want to do by right, which doesn't harm anybody. You're just looking to go about your own business and get your stuff together. So it's hard when the quote-unquote powers that be are also trying to stop you.
Mm-hmm. I think what interesting question this brings up, though, that I don't think we have time to answer it here, but I think it's something I want to explore down the road, is if the Avatar has so much power and can do all the stuff that they're doing and basically be a one-man army, how has there never been an Avatar that wants to take over the world and lead it themselves?
Because then Kyoshi would be coming back from the dead and be like, boy, on God, and beat the hell out of him, and you know it too.
I think it's partially because the Avatar is reincarnated and is essentially the same cosmic being, that the entity that is the Avatar would not be able to do that. Even at their most
selfish.
Fuck the rules, we're getting this shit done. So I'm like, if Kyoshi didn't fucking take over the world, then I don't think any Avatar would have taken over the world.
That's fair. It's an interesting thing to ponder, though, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you think it's overly convenient that Toph is also a lie detector? Why or why not?
That was a little convenient. It makes sense, but that was a little convenient because we have not... Like, I'm pretty sure there have been a couple of other times where she could have told that people were lying.
Probably.
Yeah, I don't know. You're right. I mean, but it's still a cool little plot device,
Oh,
right?
it's yeah,
like
cool,
whatever.
Definitely. Like, I'm not mad at it. It just it was a little coincidental.
And what's a little
like,
bit more OP?
Let's just make your
For
top
Toph,
tier
you know?
character even better.
Yeah, I mean, shit. Like, she's already boss as hell. Like, go ahead, girl, please. Toph is more badass. I believe.
And of course, 2 episodes, she's going to invent a whole new bending. So, like, okay, she's now, like, S-class plus. Like, she's the best person in the whole show.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the creepy shit under Lake Laogai?
Skeletons in the closet, man. It's no good.
Dude, the Judies. That was freaky when I was a kid. I still get, like, a little spooked by it.
Dude, Judy is the best.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was rough.
Fucking Manchurian.
I feel like we discussed so much about Lake Laogai and the other questions, so I feel like we kind of got through it.
Yeah, that's fair.
All before the actual question.
That's fair. Then last real question for this episode, then before we move on to the next one. What was Zuko likely to do before Iroh even showed up? And why do you think he ultimately freed the bison as he did?
Dude, I thought he was about to give Appa the cap, though. On God, I thought he was about to bust a cap. I was like, no! When he opened that door with the sword, I was like, on God. If Zuko's about to kill Appa... Also, how does Iroh show up out of the blue? Some old dude gets down... anyway.
My man is the dragon of the West.
I know.
He is an epic level character, just moving slow as hell for everybody else's benefit.
I know, especially once we see what happens to him in season 3. But still, like... I thought Zuko was about to give him the strap, you know? Like, he was about to pull out, like, a Glock and just start busting Appa straight in the skull. It's like,
honest to God, if Zuko killed Appa, that would have been it.
No redemption.
It's like no redemption. Fuck whatever story you were trying to tell. Nobody would have ever forgiven him for Appa. No one.
Oh yeah, could you imagine him trying to teach Aang firebending, and the first thing he says is, "So, your best friend."
Sorry about that.
Is this the move you used to kill my boy? Fuck you.
Yeah, literally, here he's teaching him firebending, and he's like, "This is the move I used to kill your best friend." Yeah! I punched him straight through the heart with this.
I can't help but laugh. It's so good.
Dude, oh my gosh.
I think like Iroh, and like this is really like one of the culminations of Zuko's journey. I say one of because, of course, in a couple episodes we're gonna get another one. But it's like he's tempted with the prospect of being so close to what he wanted in the past. And throughout this whole season, Iroh's been trying to get him to see another way, another path, another choice. And even in his time alone, he's been really trying to actually figure out who he is outside of all of this, all of the pressures of the Fire Nation. And while he's still not used to it, he's then told that his goal is like right there. And the worst thing, but also possibly the best thing you can do would be to be tempted with your old life, like at a critical moment. So this is one of the tests, and I think Iroh showing up was really, really crucial for him making the right choice. I honestly don't want to know what he would have done if Iroh hadn't showed up.
I liked the fact that Iroh came. It really lends a lot to his character. I almost feel like he shouldn't have, though, and really given Zuko like that time of like maybe give him a flashback to Iroh, talking to him, and he's just like freaking starts throwing fire all over the place, and then he's like, ah! And then like breaks the chain and lets Appa out. Like
But
I
he's
feel
not
like
there yet. That's the thing. He's not
exactly.
there yet.
So you're right. It wouldn't have worked, but I feel like that would have been a really cool like story moment too.
Well, I think what Zuko was likely to do, if anything, was to present the bison to the Fire Lord, and maybe even take it hostage to bait Aang into coming to them. Because, I mean, Aang was eventually going to find Appa no matter what. And if you want to catch the Avatar, the best bait would be the thing the Avatar wants the most. So, I think that's the most likely conclusion. But I think, as you stated, and as Iroh stated, Zuko didn't really have a full plan. It was just an idea, a concept, and didn't know how to actually pull it off. Because, realistically speaking, even if he could get Appa out of those chains, how, Zuko, are you going to get this giant bison that can fly and is way more powerful than you to the Fire Nation from Ba Sing Se? Realistically, how do you even do that?
To be fair, the Sandbenders did it, and they're a bunch of pussies, so...
Yeah, but that was a team-up, though. I don't think Zuko could do it alone.
They also were surrounded by sand, dog.
Genocide the Sandbenders. I'm okay with that. Get Avatar State, Kyoshi come back, and just start throwing hands.
Well, we are a little past the halfway point of this episode, so let's jump into Side B, featuring The Earth King, originally airing November 17th, 2006, written by John O'Brien and directed by Ethan Spalding. JM Animation is on deck for this one. The cast includes Phil Lamar as the Earth King, and Jim Meskimen as General Hao. I didn't realize Phil Lamar did that. That's pretty cool. No awards for this one, so Ryan, I'm going to go over to you for fun facts.
All right. First up, after Aang receives his letter from Guru Patik, Sokka inquires as to what a guru is, rhetorically asking, some kind of poisonous blowfish? This, of course, is a reference to the similar-sounding fugu, a Japanese delicacy which claims several lives every year due to inadequate preparation. How do people still eat this shit, man? What are you doing?
I remember there was a Simpsons episode where they did that and Homer almost died. That was good.
Oh, God. All right, well, last up, when Team Avatar barges into the throne room and tries to convince the Earth King to listen to them, Long Feng describes them as an anarchist cell and claims that listening to them will lead to the Earth King's demise. Kuei's daughter, Hu Ting, was killed in the Legend of Korra after trusting the Red Lotus, an actual anarchist group. Damn.
Yeah. Funny how it all comes full circle.
Mm-hmm.
I got a quick synopsis for you. We'll jump into the questions here. First, let's get going. Riding high from their streak of wins and being on Appa for the first time in like 4 weeks or more, Sokka suggests they just go to the Earth King and tell him what's up. They do, and things go poorly at first. Lex tries to discredit all the evidence, but he cannot talk his way out of the Fire Nation drill. The game convinces the king to help with the invasion of the Fire Nation. At the end of the episode, the game realizes they have to split to conclude their Season 2 character arcs. Results? They may vary. Zuko comes down with a case of COVID-19, and Iroh tries to get him back to better health. When Zuko returns, he is a changed man with a brighter outlook on life. It's sweet, but unfortunately only temporary.
COVID didn't change me at all. What do you mean?
He lost his sense
literally,
of
I
taste.
just feel the exact same.
Well, that's why he was able to eat that one soup.
No, that's why he was able to actually like drink tea afterwards, because his fucking taste buds got changed.
Oh, that makes so much sense.
Boom.
Also,
They're
I'm
prophetic.
sure there's a question about it, so I'll hold my tongue. But
No. Go ahead, Chaz. I want to hear what your thoughts are. What do you got?
on God, how are you gonna be like 5 minutes? Like in the span of 5 minutes, Zuko goes from, "Yes, Uncle, would you like some tea because I'm at inner peace," to like, "Yo, dude, we're about to go kill Appa. What's up?" Like, how do you go from A to B that fast? Like, it's within like the span of a day, isn't it? Like in the show, isn't it? It seems like at least it's
So I think it's 2 days.
about the span of a day.
So I think the thing with Appa happened day 1. Day 2, everyone kind of splits up, and then day 3 is when the coup takes over, and that's when they see Azula again. And I think part of Zuko's...
Yeah.
And we'll talk about it more in the next episode, but I think part of Zuko's switch over is Azula and her very convincing, not so convincing...
oh, yeah.
Yeah. I think she knows how to manipulate Zuko in just the right ways. I think that's what causes him to separate from Iroh, which it's a bummer, but Azula's really good at that stuff.
She can manipulate me anyway. I'm gonna be real with it.
Jesus Christ.
I'd listen. I'd do whatever she told me to do. To be fair, I can't blame Zuko. I can't blame my boy.
Yeah, but that's
I
also
can blame him.
yeah.
That's his sister.
Yeah,
dog.
that's his sister.
Well, okay. I guess 2 different reasons. Well, hey, you know what? They are royalty. I'm just saying it's happened in the past.
Don't do my boy dirty like
Gotta
that.
keep the bloodline pure. You know
Don't do
what
my
I'm
boy
saying?
dirty like that. Did you expect the fake Kyoshi Warriors at the end of this episode? Why or why not?
I mean, they had already set. Well, they had kind of set it up with the fact that Suki had encountered Azula and her angels. So, like we said earlier, it's just like there's no way you can have Azula lose to, although albeit very gifted, but there's no way you can have her and her group lose to normal soldiers and still be respected. So them showing up at the end just kind of makes sense as on the delivery of that. It's like Azula beat the hell out of the Kyoshi warriors, and then what? Then what do you do with that? But sneaking in as Kyoshi warriors is absolutely an Azula plan. So it wasn't really a surprise, but more of a like, this is how it all goes down. Okay.
I definitely remember when I was a kid and I first saw that. I'm like, oh shit, that's what that was all about. Because, like, the whole Kyoshi warriors fighting Azula and them, it felt like a one-off thing back when you first saw it. And you're like, oh, okay, I wonder when that's going to pay off. And you kind of forget about it with everything that happens in between. Because a lot happens. And this shows up and it's like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
Okay, so Zuko goes through a dream sequence of sorts that helps him kind of transition from being the angsty asshole he was to a less angsty asshole. The 2 dragons in his dream represent Iroh and Azula, but why does Zuko have any level of trust for Azula or any Azula stand-ins at this point?
I think it's less that it's purely Azula that he trusts, but rather it's what Azula represents, because there's always been a part of him that's wanted what Azula has claimed so easily, his father's love, admiration, and respect. So, like, at that point, it's not, I want to be more like Azula because she's such a conniving bitch, but it's more that I want to be like Azula because my father is proud of her. And she is in the position that I've always wanted to be in just because I wanted my dad to love me. So it's like, does he want his father's love and all the honor and the prestige of the Fire Nation, or does he want this weird, humble way that his uncle is prescribing?
Damn, that's deep. I like it though. I really like it.
Yeah.
Thanks, y'all. I try.
Like, I don't think I have any way to really top that one.
Ryan out here being Socrates.
I guess my next question here, while we're on roll here, what are some ways Long Feng could have gotten around the evidence provided by the gang?
What do you mean?
So, like, obviously the gang had all this evidence trying to claim that, oh, hey, Lon Fane did this, or he just ran an APA, or this drill is the Fire Nation drill, and they're trying to kill us and everything. I'm just trying to think, going into this, is there any way that Lon Fane, an adult, could have outdone these children in terms of, like, proving this evidence is not legit?
Not been a huge pile. I mean, like, could have been a better person. I would have helped.
Yeah, he could have actually been about his job of protecting Bossing Say rather than trying to consolidate power for himself.
Yeah.
I think like once they got to the drill though, that was fucking checkmate. Like there was absolutely no way they were gonna cover up that drill that actually burst through the outer walls. It was just like no way. Also, they never counted for the Earth King actually going out of the kingdom, like out of the palace. So it's just like, what the fuck do we need to worry about the king seeing it for? He's never gonna leave the throne room.
Complacency.
True.
I guess this leads me to a different
question. For a band of plucky teenagers. And
they're meddling kids and they're a bison too.
Yep.
No, I did want to ask though, going off this tangent here, if Lon Fane's so devoted to keeping his city safe and protected as he so claims, why is he so against being part of the war effort? Like, he could easily hold on to his power, and this all could have been avoided if he'd just been cooperative and like, yeah, no, we could totally give you some dudes for like a day. It's cool.
Because
Jazz, what do you think on that?
Because when people have power, they're more or less likely to give it up, right? Like, we talked about this during the pre-roll. Frickin' look at the political climate. It doesn't matter who you chose, right? It doesn't, because the same thing would have happened either way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if once you have power or have the chance of getting power, you don't give it up. You can look at any world history, right? I mean, monarchs, especially monarchs and even politicians in the United States, but even when a politician leaves, they still put their 2 cents out there. They still have that level of influence and power. And I mean, you talk, kingdoms, especially in Europe back in the day, they would go to war. I mean, brothers would fight each other because they had the chance at getting power. And a king or a father would kill his children to hold on to that power, or his wife, or whatever, because he had that power, or his friends.
Well, see, I get that. But Lon Fane, he gives the impression he's a smart guy. He gives the impression he thinks ahead several moves, or at least that's the impression I get. So I would give him some credence to think he would have thought, okay, the Avatar's here, he wants to stop the war with the Fire Nation. If I lend him even the smallest amount of support to do whatever plan they've got, they'll be out of my kingdom, out of my hair, and the war will be over, and I don't have to worry about the Fire Nation myself. It'll be done. I won't have done anything, but I'll have helped, and I get to keep my power.
So think about it this way: do you ever watch Jimmy Neutron?
I've seen bits and pieces, but not a whole lot.
So there's an episode, right, where Jimmy goes back in time, invents a time machine, goes back in time, tells his parents to invest in McSpanky's Burgers, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's one of my favorite episodes. That's why I remember it. So it's almost like if you went back in time and invested in Microsoft when it was the first ground startup, or Apple or something, and how rich you would be now.
Mm-hmm.
So basically there's a quote in there that says, yes, I could give you money, but that would mean that I would have less. Right? Like I said, he has all of the power, literally everything at his disposal, the full total bossing say under his rule. If he even gives a 0.1% of that away, that means he has less. He doesn't have that full control, right? So even if it were to be, oh, this is what's going to get him out of my hair, it's easier for him just to try to keep them under house arrest than it is to give up his power, because he is still exercising that power over them.
Feels like a very short-term game to play, but I guess that makes sense.
I partially agree. I think the biggest thing that I think the biggest thing that would keep me, if I was Long Feng and I was trying to justify that decision, I think two things would be that, A, if he actually committed soldiers to move out from Ba Sing Se to help in the war effort, I'm not sure if he would be able to actually hide that from the king, which would make his whole scheme harder. But B, and I think this is the biggest thing now that I really think about it, is that while he's a conniving dickhead, he has actually secured peace in Ba Sing Se. And him troubling or risking that peace and the threat to his power to assist in the war effort, which aside from the drill, they've been relatively untouched by, makes no sense to him. He wants to, like, literally, there is no war in Ba Sing Se. I've worked hard to make it that way, and you're not gonna drag us into that war so that we can deal with all those problems. We've got it on lock here. We're not gonna be bothered by that.
And here's the thing that I want to consider too, and I know that if it had gone this way too, season 3 would not have happened really at all. But just imagine if Long Feng had just played along and just letting this happen to just get it over with. The war would have been over. They wouldn't have known about the Blade of Black Sun. They wouldn't have been able to prepare for it. That invasion would have gone perfectly. Man, just think of just how much simpler things would have been for these guys. And I get it. For the narrative, that's impossible to happen. But just think of how much simpler it would have been.
That's right, because Azula finds out about about Black Sun from this. Yeah, Damn, you're right. You're very right.
Final question before we wrap up for the night, or not for the night, for this episode. What will happen to all the Jude E clones now that the operation's been exposed?
Jesus.
They're gonna need to go find a different job, I guess. I don't know what job that'll be, but
they're bomb as hell at customer service, so I don't think they'll have a trouble.
Oh yeah, they can go work at Mickey D's.
First Mickey D's in Ba Sing Se.
Bruh, they're gonna open up Chick-fil-A in Ba Sing Se, 100% value. You know it. Best customer service on the planet. That is God's chicken, or in this case, the spirit world, or the moon spirit, or ocean spirit's chicken, if you're Ryan.
There aren't chickens in the ocean, dog. Come
on. Chicken of the sea,
yeah.
Tuna, hello? Ryan.
I like how we both went that way. I appreciate that. That's good. It's good.
Yeah. Ryan, don't come at me like that, man. That wasn't cool.
Before we get on to the review of the episodes, we will remind you guys you can follow us on Tumblr, Twitter, and Facebook. You can also follow us on patreon.com/RecessCastProductions to help support the show. And Ryan, if they want to email us something about the political strife of whatever, where can they email us at?
They can email us at "It's perfectly okay to overthrow tyrannical governments when they give you no legal recourse to actually secure your rights as a human being" at excuse me, sorry, that's evacstation@gmail.com.
Man, these emails get longer and longer every time.
All the good ones are getting taken, man. We gotta get creative.
Freaking Ryan out here getting us put on like an ATF watch list or something. Jeez Louise, Jiminy Christmas. Listen, don't tread on me. I got you, Ryan. I got the hookup. Don't worry about it.
Talk to
I
the
got
cops.
ammo. I got guns.
Talk to the FBI, and they'd be like, "Hey, listen, I wasn't trying to have a coup, okay? I was just on a podcast. My buddy made a joke. You should get him."
Yeah, dude. I promise it's not me, man. It's not me, man. I swear. Come on, man. Don't take me downtown. I can't live in jail. I won't survive. I'm too pretty.
Ranking from the colors of platinum to bronze, all the colors in between. Let's start with Lake Lao Guy. What do you guys rank this episode?
I would give Lake Lao Guy a... I would honestly, with all of the... I don't know, man. That's a hard sell. I would probably give this one a low gold.
Okay.
because I think that the animation and the storytelling and it's very, very well done. I think that it's fabulous. I really do. I just think that the only thing holding it back is the not necessarily overall connection to the main story, but it definitely feels, I don't know, not fillery. I don't know exactly what I'm trying to say. It's not the most, like, if you didn't watch Lake Laogai, you wouldn't really miss out too much on most things, in my opinion.
Okay.
So actually, I'll change it. I'm gonna go silver. I'm revising my decision.
Ryan, what do you think?
Well, I agree with his first ranking. I'm gonna give it gold. I will say it's a lower gold, because I primarily see this episode and the following episode as kind of the 1-2 punch, because you really ramp up through this episode into the next episode. The next episode starts with them fucking assaulting the Imperial Palace. So and
the animation's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, and like one of the best earthbending fights. Like Aang is fucking out earthbending, like real like Earth Kingdom guards, man. Like he's on it. Like it's really, really cool to see. But yeah, I feel like this episode is definitely a ramp up to that. Not to take away from the stuff that it does on its own. This setup for the culmination of Zuko's arc this season and the turmoil, and he comes to the decision and he tries to make the right choice. You have the reunion with Appa. Long Fang shows his true colors. Jet fucking died. Like a lot of stuff happened in this, but it does feel like a ramp up to the next episode. So I'll give this a gold.
I'm tempted to give it a platinum because I really do like conspiracy underground nonsense and stuff like this. Like this has a lot of like my jam in it, but I think I've been talked down to a gold because I do think you're right, Ryan. I think this is definitely more of a setup episode. This is definitely an episode that, without the episodes around it, doesn't really hold up as well on its own. There's certainly a lot of...
Raise your hand if you're surprised that Aaron is super into conspiracy theories. Oh, see? No one has their hands up, Aaron.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't have my hand up.
No, I just find the Judy, the Manchurian Candidate stuff, like, all that's really interesting. The hidden bison under the ocean lake is really good. All of Lon Fang's like diabolical plans are fascinating to me. The execution of this episode is really solid, but like you said, Ryan, it's a part one of, I would say, like a 4-part arc almost. And
yeah, almost.
And while it's a really good setup for everything, without the other stuff, it just kind of doesn't really do much. It even just kind of piddles out at the end as like a ending, like an end of part one. Here comes part two sort of thing, without being an official part one, part two. So yeah, I would say probably mid to low gold, just because it's not a complete story by itself. Meanwhile, we can go on to Earth King. Where do you guys rank this one?
Chaz?
I'll let you guys go first on this one.
Well, I think I'm going to also give this a gold. Like Aaron said, I do kind of see this as an unofficial 2-parter episode. In which case, like the you pretty much pick up right where you left off with the action and like ramping into like one of the best Bender fights of this season with the assaults on the Imperial Palace. So I think that's fantastic. And while it almost feels like it's coming to a natural conclusion, there's a part of your mind that's like, wait, there are 2 more episodes left. What the fuck? And then it ends with Azula and the girls as the fucking Kyoshi warriors. So it's like, just when you thought we were done, we gotta ramp you back up one more time so we can actually finish the season. So yeah, I'd give this also a gold to bookend the first one.
I'd give this one a gold as well, mostly because of the fighting, right? I'm a sucker for fight scenes, so if the fight scene is popping, you know I'm a knocking. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, it's the reason that I hate Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood and the original because, man, trash. Anyway, moving on. I gotta put that dig in there. I have to put it out there because I hate that show. It's trash. It's whack. Anyway.
Nope.
Okay, name one
I'm not
fight.
gonna bite. No, I said I'm not gonna bite. That's what I said.
Hey.
I said what I said. God damn it. Aaron, what's your rating?
I will probably give this a silver. I think the ranking is brought up to silver because the fighting is pretty top notch. Not the best of the show overall, but it is top notch for what we've seen so far. But I think the plotting and pacing feels a bit slow, and I get it that this episode is kind of more of a a breathing room and a resolution to what we just got in the previous episode. But I think I'm not as into the Earth King as a character. I'm not into certain aspects of this episode that that don't work for me. And I wish that Lon Fane hadn't been, for lack of a better word, defanged in this episode, and just kind of... He doesn't really do much after this, and it sucks, because he was built up to be really kind of interesting, and then just kind of fell flat.
I mean, he's about to job out to a better villain.
Yeah, but like he had so much potential. That is my thing.
He did. Don't lie.
So I feel like this episode has a lot going for it, but not enough to keep me interested all the way through. So I'm going to say silver, probably.
Okay.
So that is it for this episode. Join us next week when we finally, after many weeks of talking about Season 2, we'll finally end Season 2 with the Crossroads of Destiny. Until then, we will see you after the credits.
Bye.
Things our way, we will
See ya.
stay. There is no war in Bossing Say. This is really in Bossing Say. In Bossing Say. The skies are never gray. By the way, if you ever feel blue, Lake Loudby will comfort you. There is no war in Bossing Say. There is no war in Bossing Say.